Hey, Greg.
Hey, Tim.
I just found out some great news.
Really? What?
We are now the 67th ranked comedy podcast in Albania.
No way. We've gone international.
Yep, adding our names to the long list of great Albanian comedies such as Crazy, Confused, Normal, Alfita Zane Pet, and Prezvavi.
Don't forget Kurzaji and Kafaneja Joan.
Well, to all of our awesome Albanian listeners,
Faleminderit. Hey, Tim.
Hey, Greg.
How's it going?
Couldn't be better.
Oh, nice. Eagles just beat up on the Giants. So
Yeah.
that was pretty nice.
That was awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I just thought that maybe we could kind of, talk about some of the things that we're doing lately. What are we interested in? Things we're watching, things we're reading, things we're listening to.
Yeah, sounds good.
Cool. Why don't we start with the movie?
Last night we queued up a classic, Elf.
Such a good movie.
Yeah, Will Ferrell and
Nice.
Zoe Deschanel. I was shocked how long ago that movie was made.
Right?
Yeah, it's been a couple years, but still holds up. Still a great holiday
one of
movie.
my absolute all-time favorites.
Yeah. How about you? What are you watching?
We're doing a lot of Christmas movies lately.
Yeah.
We just watched over the weekend the Jim Carrey, How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Okay.
And that's, I liked that movie when it came out, but it's really well done.
Mm-hmm.
The story's good, the animation is good, and then you get Jim Carrey overacting in every single scene. So what's not to like?
Yeah, there's a great line in there when he's going through his morning routine, and it's like, I know I don't have exact, but something like 7 a.m. stare into the abyss.
Yeah.
9 a.m. jazzercise, which we always laugh about because Lee, many years ago, was actually a jazzercise instructor.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
So we always get an extra kick out of that line. So.
Yeah. But any non-Christmas movies or?
Most recently, we had watched Bullet Train, which was a movie with Brad Pitt and Sandra Bullock.
Okay.
Yeah. It was probably a little more violent than Lee was originally signing up for, but it was very watchable and it was pretty good.
It was Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
How about you? Any others?
I think I mentioned William loves like old 80s movies and 90s movies, so like we just geek out together. So I still have the old Netflix mail-in DVD subscription.
Look at you keeping that alive. Nice.
I absolutely love it because the movies you see streaming aren't necessarily the movies you want to watch. Mm-hmm. So there's like specific movies. So I get, and we just finished watching two movies. One was really good. One was really bad. Do you remember Tremors?
Oh yeah.
Love Tremors, which is really good. And then one was not nearly as good as I remembered it. Silver Bullet, the Stephen King adaptation.
Oh, okay. I don't think I saw that.
Ooh, it was bad.
Really?
Yeah. It was laughably, just the effects, everything about it. You're like, wow, this is garbage.
Yeah.
So.
Saying Tremors, though, that reminds me of a movie it's one of those movies where you see all these weird movies when you're a kid, but certain movies really stick with you. There was another movie, I feel like it was in the same time frame, called Critters.
Oh, yeah.
With the little, I think they were from outer space or something.
Yes.
They'd roll up and they'd roll at you and then shoot these.
And all teeth, right?
Yeah.
They're like all these,
Yeah. And that movie, that one just stuck with me. I think of it at weird random times. But yeah.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah. It was good. The only other movie that recently I watched, there's the 21 Jump Street adaptation that came out.
So good, right?
I thought it was funny that they actually got Johnny Depp to have a little bit part in it. And, it was ridiculous, but it was fun.
Right. Yeah. It was fun. It's not going to win any awards or anything, but was it Ice Cube was the...
it was Cube. That was the lieutenant chief.
Yeah. Oh man, that was so funny. Yeah. I like that one. And even did you see so watch the sequel now?
Okay, there's another one.
There's actually a sequel if you can buy it or believe it, and it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
It's just as it's a carbon copy of the first one, but
yeah. Well, you got G.I. Joe in there, Channing Tatum.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't know how Duke feels about that, but
does he like to show off his bare chest?
Yeah. But yeah, it was entertaining. It was fun. So,
yeah. On a more serious note, if you have a Netflix subscription, which I know you do, I'm a World War One buff.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. I'm just fascinated about World War One, and I listen to a lot of stuff and read a lot of books. But Netflix came out with All Quiet on the Western Front,
Okay.
which was made by a German production company, so it's in German, but they dub it and they do have subtitles as well. The acting is just phenomenal. Like the kid who Paul, who they follow through getting joining and going into battle, his acting is just spectacular. So I highly recommend that.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, from a documentary standpoint, the most recent one I watched was the sort of gaming one called High Score. That one was
I saw that.
It was pretty good. It kind of goes back to the early days of like Atari and then it goes all the way through to like modern day PlayStation and Xbox and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
What was the name of that?
It's called High Score.
High Score? Okay.
Yeah. It's on Netflix.
I'll check that out. We'll move on to books maybe. Have you had any chance to read any good books?
I'm in the process of reading a book that it's pretty interesting in light of our current life that we live in. It's called Version Zero by a guy named David Yoon. And the whole premise of it so far anyway is that there's a version of what you would kind of call Facebook. It's called Ren.
Oh.
And everybody is super plugged into it. They volunteer all of their personal information to the world. And then there's a small group that's kind of disheartened by being a part of that world. They're programmers and they kind of see behind the curtain. Okay. And they're trying to fix this whole world that everyone's a part of by breaking it from the inside. So it seems pretty interesting and obviously plays into a lot of what we experience. So it's pretty good.
Cool.
I'll finish it and I'll come back to it.
Give us a report card on it.
Yeah. How about you? What are you reading right now?
I like Agatha Christie books.
Okay.
And there's just one I just can't. Every time I pick up, I start and then I get interrupted. And then it's like, I really it's so silly. I try to figure out, I really pay attention to the book because I want to figure out who did it. And then, so if you stop and take any sort of break, you have to start all over again. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I must have started and stopped this book 3 times now. And I'm getting to the point where I'm like, it's sitting on my night table and I'm ready to burn it. So I'm like, I'm never going to finish this book. Yeah. So maybe over Christmas break or holiday break.
Yeah. It is funny though how some books have that quality to them where they're just not a page turner, but you want to get through it.
Yes. Yeah.
There's one that comes to mind. The book was actually called Forever. And it took forever to finally finish it. And there was another one that I had that it was like a post-apocalyptic world.
Okay.
And you're with this one character and just their thoughts and trying to figure out ways to communicate with other people. And it just was I wanted to get it done because I wanted to see what happens. Does this person find civilization or anything?
Yeah.
But it just drug on. And the same thing that you were saying, I would stop, then I have to go back and how far back do I have to go before I rember what I had read
what
before?
You had read, yeah.
Yeah. So
did you finish it?
Yeah, I did
You
eventually.
Did. Was it worth it?
No, it really wasn't. But I can check it off the list if it's done.
It's kind of like me. Whenever I watch a TV show, if I really get invested in that TV show, I will stick with it until it's over, no matter how bad it gets. I just finished watching The Walking Dead. Okay. And my God, it was so stupid for 3 years now, but I'm still watching it because I kind of have to, see it to the end with the characters. And, it was so dumb at the end.
I kind of feel like one of the other books that I read this past year was a Stephen King 11/21/63.
Yeah.
And there were parts where it just it got into not a lot happening. And I stopped for a while and then I had to go back and I had that I want to finish it, but now I got to go back and start over and read how much of it before I can get back into the story and then just put the throttle down and try to muscle through it. And I did finish it and I'm glad that I did, but there was that middle part where it gets real slow.
Real slow. I'm a big Stephen King fan, and that book was a tough. I feel most of his books he's done in the past 20 years are just filled with pages and pages of stuff that's not necessary to the plot or to advance the character, and it's just, please. I think he's just gotten too big of a head. Unless he wants to come on the show, in which case, Stephen King, you're an amazing author, and I'd love to have you on.
Yeah. Well, and it was interesting because I haven't read a lot of Stephen King. And so actually at your encouragement and one of our other friends, I read The Shining, which I had watched that movie so many times when I was younger and never had read the book. So reading that, which has a real good pace to it, and it's relatively short, to then jump into 11/21/63 as the next Stephen King that I read, very different pacing.
Very different, yes. But we could talk. I mean, I could talk Stephen King books all day, but we won't do that.
Any other books that you're reading right now, or just the?
No, unfortunately not.
Yeah. Well, let's shift to how about music? What are you listening to?
You know, this podcast has gotten me so into 80s music, Tim.
Okay.
That I just keep listening. You know, a shameless plug. I honestly keep listening to the playlists we make for our episodes. I mean, I'm in the car, I put on a playlist, and it's just constant. Yeah. Kind of stuck right now on reliving the 80s stuff. So.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, you?
Well, our most recent episode where we speak with John Bermuda Schwartz.
Yes.
I had a bit of a Weird Al resurgence where I was listening to a lot of Weird Al over the last few weeks. I found a band that I hadn't listened to since college probably called Urge Overkill.
Oh, yeah.
And there was one album that I had, and I just was listening to that album over and over again because it was it just took me back to that place, you know, of just... It was just fun and nothing they got a ton of radio play or anything like that. It was, you know, a little more obscure. I think one of their songs might have been in like the Pulp Fiction soundtrack.
That's how I know of them. Yeah.
Yeah. But that was fun. And the only other thing that, as I went through my recent music history, had to spend a night in the hospital recently, which was not fun, but everything's fine. However, trying to sleep in a hospital bed is challenging, just because of all the beeps and sounds and, you know, everything. So I broke a rule in our house, which is kids are not allowed to have their phones and listen to Spotify at night. I, however, did listen to Spotify all night long, and it was a series of songs called Sleep.
Oh, okay.
So it was just like sort of like bells and sounds of the ocean and all this supposed to calm and help anyone with insomnia, help them to sleep. Okay. So that has now invaded my Spotify, you know, recommendations with all these insomnia and sleepation songs. So yeah,
I used to have an alarm clock that would play sleep sounds while you go to bed, and you could choose between like the ocean, the waves, or like the woods and birds, and like they had different options. It was pretty cool. Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, we had one. It was just the white noise machine when the kids were little, and with twins and not sleeping, we would try anything and everything that anyone would recommend.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah, we had the white noise machine going for a while, and I don't know that it helped.
Yeah. How about any TV shows? You listening or watching any TV shows, new or old?
I'm kind of programmed now to just go to Netflix. You know, when I want to watch something, I just turn on Netflix and whatever is there. And Wednesday recently.
That's right. Tim Burton, right?
Yeah,
I love Tim Burton.
And it's sort of a fun adaptation of the Addams Family and very centric to Wednesday. And I burned through it. I watched it.
You did? Yeah, the whole thing?
Just a couple of days. I watched the whole thing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I thought it was well done. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's on my list one day.
Yeah. And it was fun to see Fred Armstead, who's been on Saturday Night Live. And
yeah, I know the name.
He was in that show Portlandia.
Oh, yeah. Kind of nerdy looking.
Yeah.
No offense.
Yeah. We love you, Fred. Come on our show. He's an interesting guy, actually. I listened to a podcast that he was on, and he's played in bands. He knows all these like well-known musicians, and then obviously he's had a pretty phenomenal acting career.
He's popped up in like things here and there, right?
Yeah. So he ends up playing Fester.
Oh, that's an interesting choice.
Wednesday. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was pretty fun.
I remember Christopher Lloyd played Fester in the movies.
Yeah.
Which I liked a lot.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
How about you? What else is on your TV radar?
I can't recommend this one enough on TV. I think it's Hulu. It's Only Murders in the Building.
Okay.
With Martin Short, Steve Martin, and I'm an old person. I can't think of her name. Selena Gomez.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry if I got that wrong. But it's really cool. I've mentioned this to you in the past. It's about three people who love podcasts about murder mysteries, and then there happens to be a murder in their building, and then they decide to start a podcast about the murder in their building. Yeah. And it's really good, and there's 2 seasons of it. I really enjoyed that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I started watching a show. It's kind of sort of a similar vein. It's called Murderville with Will Arnett, and the premise of it is kind of kooky in that the cast all has a script, but then they bring in another celebrity who just has to play along and ad lib to this murder that they're trying to solve. And I've only watched a few episodes. The first one with Conan O'Brien was really funny.
I did see that. That was really funny.
Yeah. Conan did a good job of just playing along. And the one scene that I just couldn't stop laughing was they're in like a diner and they bring out this food and there's some hot sauce and they're saying, you got to put some of this, hot sauce on it. And Will just keeps pouring it on and they're like, you got to keep eating. And it looks like Conan's going to lose his mind because it must have been very hot.
Yeah.
I just couldn't stop laughing. It was really good.
I did watch that. I actually forgot about it. I could go back and watch some more of it because I did laugh.
Yeah, it was fun.
That was good.
Any other shows that you're watching right now?
We just finished this is a really surprisingly good. It's called The Righteous Gemstones on HBO.
Okay.
It's got Danny McBride and John Goodman, among others.
Mm-hmm.
But it's surprisingly good.
Yeah.
It's not what I don't know. It's hard to put it in any sort of category. It is comedy, but it's definitely interesting. Again, my wife and I watch it, and it's pretty good.
Yeah. Cool. So a couple episodes ago, we had talked about Austin Powers and Mike Myers. And so I came across a show on Netflix called The Pentaveret. I think it was in So I Married an Axe Murderer that he mentions this whole idea of the Pentaveret. It's these like 5 people that control everything in the world. Or whatever. So I don't know if it's at all related or not, but it's this world that he's created with these 5 people that control stuff. Yeah. And so it's from Key and Peele.
Oh, yeah.
Keegan-Michael Key is like the guy who's being brought in to the Pentaveret. And it's kind of wacky and weird, and I don't know if I ended up watching it all the way through. But
a little strange.
Yeah. It's interesting to see Mike Myers in something again. So.
I know, because the last thing I saw him in, he was in the Queen biopic.
Oh, okay.
He was the record producer, which is weird if you don't really, you really have to do a double take to really see that's him and all the, and he's older now too. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah, one of the characters, he plays a bunch of characters, sort of like in, most of the other things he's done. And one of them is this, aging reporter from, the Midwest or something like that.
Oh, okay.
It's just weird to see him, he looks especially old as that character.
Yeah.
So,
do you listen to any podcasts? Besides ours, of course.
Yeah, I listen to ours all the time. There's one that my wife had told me about called Everything is Alive. And it's kind of a fun concept where they'll take a inanimate object and then have somebody voice the object and sort of tell their story as being the object. So one of the early ones is a can of soda and talks with them for a while. And then he kind of goes through the idea of that their life is short and that eventually someone will drink them. And so the host is like, well, would you like me to be the one to drink you? And so it's this slow process of him sipping some of it and how do you feel? And then
that's weird.
Yeah, it's kind of bizarre, but it's also pretty fun. There's a pair of socks and he gets separated from his pair and then the whole process of being a lone sock and hoping that one day it'll be reunited. And it's pretty clever and it's pretty good. So.
Oh, that is cool. Yeah.
Yeah. How about you? Any particular ones?
As our audience knows, I'm a big-time Mets fan, and this is the peak of the baseball off-season, the hot stove, as they call it. And if you do follow baseball, you'll know the owner of the Mets has gone absolutely crazy and is spending money like it doesn't matter, which I absolutely love. But part of me kind of, I complained when the Yankees did it in the 90s. So, you're kind of like, well, you know what, though? I want a dang World Series. So suck it up, baseball.
Yeah.
Which, they'll win 105 games and lose in the playoffs. So.
Yeah, the Phillies, I think, did a little better last year, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought they were watching from home. Oh, no, that's right.
But they still lost.
Stupid Astros.
Let's see. I've listened to a podcast called Life is Short by Justin Long.
Oh, okay.
Which is kind of fun. I mean, he's a fairly well-known actor. But he and his brother doesn't participate a ton, but he's sort of part of the engineering, and he'll jump in here and there, and he interviews celebrities, and it's just a kind of fun. He just seems like a regular guy, the way the things he's experienced, the things that he finds funny.
Yeah.
I feel like he could come and hang out with us. And
we could have
it would seem
have a
very
drink.
common. Yeah. So
cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I hope our audience checks out some of our recommendations, and if you have some good recommendations for us, please feel free to email us.
Yeah, you can always email us about these topics we've discussed or anything in general that you have a comment on at dads@latchkeydads.com.
I'm trying to fix a pocket door in my bathroom. If anyone out there has any recommendations, please send an email.
Hey, everybody. Hey, Greg.
Hey, Tim. How's it going?
Pretty good. So probably some of you have seen that there's celebrities play this game where they try to make each other laugh with really bad jokes. So I thought it'd be fun for Greg and I to give this a try with some 80s jokes. So we're each going to take turns telling each other a bad 80s joke and try to get the other one to laugh. And we'll see how it goes and sort of maybe keep track and see who is victorious maybe, or maybe we'll just go back and forth and laugh. So
and have a few chuckles while we go through it.
Yeah. So I'm going to start us off here with my first joke for Greg.
All right, so I'm not to laugh.
Try not to laugh at this amazing joke. This is
going to be bad. I'm not going to be good at this. All right.
All right, so here's my first joke for you, Greg. What's Madonna's favorite sauce?
I have no idea.
Hollandaise, celebrate. No.
Yeah.
No. All right.
Sorry. But that was right, that I'm not supposed to laugh, right?
Yeah,
I got it.
You didn't
all
laugh. So.
All right. I wanted to. The corners went up a little bit, but I suppressed it. Are you ready for your joke?
I am ready.
Okay. Am I allowed to laugh when I tell the joke?
Sure, you can laugh.
All right, because I probably will laugh. Okay. What do Abraham Lincoln and an 80s sitcom have in common?
I don't know, Greg. What do they have in common?
Both were shot before a live audience.
Nope.
No? All right.
Nope.
Nicely played. All right.
All right. Greg, what do you get when you cross an 80s hairband with a fish?
I don't know. What, Tim?
Bon Jovi. I saw you smirk, but you didn't laugh.
I smirked, but it was so bad it was bad.
Yeah.
I was in a band in the 80s, Tim, called Prevention. Yeah, I would argue we were better than The Cure.
All right, you got me with that one.
All right.
That was pretty good.
It was all right. Thanks for laughing.
All right. I'll give Greg a point for that.
All right.
Okay, Greg's got one. Okay. Why would someone want to have a DeLorean as a second car?
Why?
They could drive it from time to time.
You got me on that. I wasn't going in. That was good. Okay. Wow. All right. So, I like my women like I like my golf score. In the low 80s with a slight handicap.
If I don't make a sound, does it count?
Yeah,
Oh boy.
I think you got it. You did good. Yeah.
All right, here we go. I guess Greg gets a point for that because I laughed. I laughed without making any sound. All right, here we go.
Okay.
What did Arnold Schwarzenegger say when he was invited to a classical composer's costume party?
I don't know. What did Arnold Schwarzenegger say?
He said, "I'll be back."
Yeah. I mean, I chuckled, so I guess you get a point. It wasn't that good.
It was not a hearty laugh. That was a pity laugh, I think.
All right. My father. Oh wait, no, we can't do that one. I forget. This is a family show. Let's go with. What do you call a spider that likes 80s music?
I don't know, Greg. What do you call a spider that likes 80s music?
A tarantula.
No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I was doubtful when I started it.
All right. Greg, what do you call Mr. T's girlfriend?
I don't know. What do you call Mr. T's girlfriend?
April Fools. No.
Yeah, no. Let's see here. What's another term for a warm 80s drink?
I don't know.
Mr. T. These jokes aren't getting any better.
All right. How about what's wrong with Bonnie Tyler's GPS?
What is wrong with Bonnie Tyler's GPS?
It keeps telling me to turn around, and every now and then it falls apart.
Yeah, no, that's bad. This band was playing Cheesy's 80s music, so I ran. I ran so far away.
Greg, you like that one? You get a point for yourself.
I do get a point for myself. Why are there so many repeats on this list? Come on.
Greg, why couldn't the Ghostbusters ever finish Oregon Trail?
I don't know. Why? Tell me.
Because they couldn't cross their streams.
It's terrible. Yeah, no, that was bad. Oh wait, this is not it. Okay. Well, I'm jumping ship from that list, Tim.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Let's try this one. All right. Let's see, Tim. What is Soleil Moon Fry's favorite food?
I don't know.
French fries. You laughed.
I did. I don't even know why I laughed.
You laughed. I got a pity laugh on that one, Tim.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, Greg. How does David Byrne from the Talking Heads look these days?
I don't know. How does David Byrne from the Talking Heads look these days, Tim?
He's the same as he ever was. Same as he ever was. I like that.
I mean,
one.
it almost made me chuckle, but all right. How does Michael Jackson pick his nose? First,
I don't even need to know the punchline. How does he pick his nose?
from a catalog.
It was better before I knew the punchline.
That was great.
Oh boy.
Uh,
All right, Greg.
Okay.
Which film won't Rick Astley let you borrow from his Pixar collection?
I don't know.
He's never going to give you up.
That was all in the delivery, Tim. That was all in the delivery. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I'm trying to find an appropriate one. They're all inappropriate for our show. Okay. What did the little bird say when he saw the Kmart sign?
I don't know. I'm laughing again before I even know the punchline. What did he say?
Cheap, cheap, cheap.
Oh boy. Again, it was better before I said the punchline. All right, Greg. Why did Bono fall off stage?
I don't know. Why did Bono fall off stage?
Well, Greg, he was too close to the edge.
Sorry. That was okay. Okay. How long did Lionel Richie sit on the toilet?
All night long. Do I win?
All right, I think that did it.
Oh, I got one more for you.
Okay.
What did the 80s tech employee say was wrong with the printer?
I don't know what.
It was stuck in Depeche mode.
Yeah.
They're so bad. All right.
How did Billy Squire die?
Stroke it, stroke it.
That's a stroke. Well, that was fun, Tim. I think the only thing we can conclude from this game is that there were no winners.
Agreed.
Agreed. Can't get enough Latch-Key Dad content? Well, check out latchkeydads.com.
That's right, Greg. On our website, we've got a plethora of photos from each episode, as well as other interesting links to content that we talk about on the show.
Yeah, Tim, I really enjoy all the pictures that you put up there as they really bring the episode home.
Yeah, I guess I'm not afraid to show those embarrassing photos of my childhood. So, yeah, we encourage you to check out the website, latchkeydads.com, for all that content.
Excellent. And if you have a moment, check out our shop page where we've got really cool keychains for sale. If you don't know what to get your dad for Christmas, the holidays, Father's Day, birthday, check it out. It's a cool gift. Tim, did you know that listeners should like, review, and subscribe to the Latch-Key Dads podcast?
No. But now I know.
No,
Knowing exactly about it.